Ever wonder if AI could like actually do your machine learning homework for you?
Hmm.
Because today's deep dive is it's seriously mind-bending.
Yeah.
We're diving into this paper from OpenAI
Right.
about something called MLE-Bench.
Yeah, so MLE-Bench, it's essentially like a testing ground for AI agents, you know,
Okay.
pushing them to tackle these real-world machine learning engineering tasks.
Okay. So like the coding equivalent of the Robot Olympics.
Exactly. But instead of building robots, we're talking like OpenAI built this benchmark using 75 real Kaggle competitions.
Okay.
You know Kaggle, those online data science challenges.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're throwing actual Kaggle problems at these AI agents.
Wow. So we're not just talking like, hello world here. We're
No,
talking
no, no. This is real deal.
Yeah.
Real deal image classification, natural language processing, even predicting stuff like how fast COVID vaccines degrade. We're talking complex stuff here.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But how do you stop the AI from just like Googling the answers or like,
Yeah.
cheating?
Clever question. The researchers were way ahead of that.
Okay.
They built in all these safeguards to sniff out any plagiarism from previous solutions.
Okay.
They even made sure the AI wasn't just spitting out memorized answers. This was about testing problem solving, not just, spitting out information.
Right, right. Okay, so how'd the AI do? Was it a total wipeout or did it actually manage to impress?
Get this. The top performer was OpenAI's own model,
Of course.
called O1 Preview,
Okay.
paired with a special scaffold called AIDE. This combo snagged medals in almost 17% of the competitions.
Hold on, scaffolds, like the kind construction workers use?
Not quite.
Okay.
In this context, a scaffold is a structure that helps guide the AI's problem-solving process. Think of it like giving the AI a set of tools and techniques specifically designed for tackling machine learning challenges.
So AIDE is like a super-powered toolbox for AI.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And with AIDE by its side, O1 Preview is racking up the medals. To put it in perspective, you need 5 gold medals to be considered a Kaggle Grandmaster.
Right. This AI averaged 7.
7. That's some serious AI brainpower. But I'm guessing it wasn't all smooth sailing. What were some of the things the AI struggled with?
Well, one thing that stood out was how much the AI benefited from practice.
Okay.
Just like us humans, the more attempts it had at a competition, the better it performed. This whole practice makes perfect thing seems to apply to AI as well.
So even AI needs to put in the work to get good. What else did they find?
They also found that simply throwing more computing power at the problem didn't automatically lead to better results.
Interesting.
They even tested how well the AI performed when given a limited number of tries. They call this pass at K.
Pass at K.
Yeah, pass at K. It's
Yeah.
like giving the AI 5 shots at solving a problem and seeing what it gets right.
Pass at K, huh? So are we talking about AI pulling all-nighters, chugging coffee, trying to crack the code? Laughs. You could picture it that way. But essentially, Pass at K measures how well the AI does with limited attempts. They found that the AI's performance improved significantly with more attempts, even when keeping the computing power constant. It's like that aha moment after you've been wrestling with a problem for a while.
Interesting. It seems counterintuitive that more computing power wouldn't equal instant success.
Right. This suggests that there's more at play here than just raw processing power. It seems like the AI is actually learning and refining its strategies with each attempt.
Okay, so it's not just a brute force approach. It's about strategy and learning from mistakes, which honestly is kind of reassuring.
Definitely. But speaking of potential pitfalls, the researchers were also concerned about something called contamination.
Contamination. Like, did someone spill their coffee on the servers?
Not quite. Contamination, in this context, means that the AI might have already been exposed to some of these Kaggle competitions during its training. Imagine studying for a test, but you accidentally got a sneak peek at the answers beforehand.
Ah, so it's like unintentional cheating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they had to make sure the AI wasn't getting an unfair advantage. They came up with some really clever ways to test this. One test they did
Okay.
was to see how familiar the AI was
Right.
with the competition details.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
They figured if the AI had seen a competition before,
Yeah.
it might score higher
Right.
because it had that prior knowledge.
Makes sense. It's like if you walked into a test and realized you'd already seen half the questions. So, did they find any AI contestants with suspiciously high familiarity scores?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay.
There wasn't any clear correlation between how familiar the AI was with the competition and how well it actually performed.
Interesting.
So they even tried something else.
Okay.
They hid any mention of Kaggle or the name of the competition from the descriptions.
Tricky. So they basically made the AI play a game of guess the competition.
Exactly.
I
And
found
the
that.
kicker is the AI performed almost identically on both the original descriptions and these disguised ones.
So it wasn't just recognizing patterns or relying on superficial clues, right? Like it was
Mhm.
actually trying to understand the underlying problem.
Yeah.
That's impressive. But let's get down to brass tacks. How did this AI actually stack up against human competitors?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because remember, they were using real Kaggle competition
Right.
as benchmarks
Right.
with real human data scientists
Yeah.
vying for the top spots.
Right. So it wasn't just a theoretical test. They were comparing apples to apples, or should I say AI to humans. How did it fare?
So it's important to note that the AI wasn't competing in real time,
Okay.
as the competition was happening.
Right.
The researchers took a snapshot of the Kaggle leaderboards
Okay.
and used that as the measuring stick.
So they essentially froze time and said, okay, let's see how the AI would have placed against these specific competitors.
Exactly.
Got it.
And they looked at the middle thresholds
Right.
for those competitions.
Yeah.
Bronze, silver, and gold.
Right.
Remember how I mentioned you need 5 gold medals to reach Kaggle Grandmaster status?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. But yeah, go on.
Well, hold on to your hat because
Okay.
on average, this AI racked up 7 gold medals.
7. That's insane.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
This AI was consistently performing at a level comparable to the top data scientists in the world.
Okay, now I'm starting to feel a little nervous. But it wasn't perfect, right? Were there any areas where the AI completely bombed?
You're right. It wasn't all sunshine and roses.
Okay.
There were definitely some areas where the AI struggled.
Okay.
For example, it often had a tough time debugging its own code
Oh, interesting.
or recovering when it encountered unexpected errors.
So it's like it could come up with these brilliant solutions, but when things went sideways, it was a bit like, help, I need a human. Slaps.
That's a great way to put it. It highlights the fact that even with these advanced capabilities, AI still lacks the flexibility and adaptability of human engineers, especially when it comes to the messier, less predictable parts of the job.
It makes you wonder, what did those AI-generated error messages look like?
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one,
Yeah,
but in all seriousness, this research is incredibly exciting.
no doubt. It definitely gets you thinking about the future of work and the role of AI. Speaking of which, all this computing power must come with a hefty price tag, right? We're talking about AI running complex machine learning tasks. That's got to be a lot of electricity.
That's a really important point, and
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
The resource implications of this kind of research are significant.
Yeah.
In fact, the researchers themselves acknowledge this as a limitation.
Okay.
A single run of their main experiment required 1,800 GPU hours of compute time.
1,800. My old laptop would probably melt if I even tried to open that file. But seriously, that's a massive amount of computing power.
Yeah, and it really highlights the importance of accessibility and sustainability in AI research,
Right.
right? As these models become more and more complex, we need to be mindful of their environmental impact as well.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore the carbon footprint of these advancements. So we've talked about the technical achievements, the surprising results, and even the environmental impact. But what does it all mean in the grand scheme of things? What does this research tell us about the future of AI and its impact on our world?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
This research gives us a fascinating glimpse into the future of AI.
Yeah.
We're still a ways away from AI taking over the entire field of machine learning engineering,
Right.
but the lines are definitely blurring.
Yeah, it's almost like we're watching the origin story of like a whole new era in tech, you know?
Yeah, definitely a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And like any big change, it'll come with challenges as well as opportunities, right?
So where does this leave us humans? Should we be like polishing our resumes for jobs in AI supervision or something?
Laughs. Maybe. But in all seriousness, this research highlights the importance of staying ahead of the curve,
Right.
right? As AI takes on more and more of these technical tasks, we need to adapt and focus on areas where humans excel.
Right.
Things like creativity and critical thinking and complex problem solving.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that like The most valuable skills aren't always the most technical ones?
Exactly. This isn't just about training AI.
Right.
It's about how we prepare ourselves for a future where humans and AI are working side by side.
So it's less about AI versus humans and more about AI with humans.
Now you're getting it. Think of it as a collaboration, right? Where AI augments our abilities and frees us up to tackle even bigger challenges.
Okay, that's a much more optimistic way to look at it.
Right.
But it's still like the speed of these advancements can be a bit overwhelming at times.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot to process for sure.
Yeah.
And this research is just a snapshot of where AI stands today.
Right.
Imagine what it'll be capable of in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
Right.
And a little bit intimidating, to be honest.
It is, and that's why it's so crucial to stay informed and engaged.
Right.
Right? The future of AI isn't predetermined.
Okay.
It's something that we're all shaping, whether we realize it or not, you know?
So I guess like the big question is then what role do we actually want to play in this future?
That's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
Right.
This research is a powerful reminder that we can't just like sit back and watch AI evolve.
Right.
We need to actively participate in shaping its development and ensuring that it aligns with our values.
So it's a call to action then.
Absolutely.
Not just for people in tech, but for everyone.
Precisely. The impact of AI will be felt far beyond the realms of, machine learning and computer science and data science.
Right.
It's going to touch every aspect of our lives,
Yeah.
from healthcare to education to the very fabric of our society.
That's a lot to chew on. I think our listeners might need a second cup of coffee after this one. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you'd like everyone to remember?
If there's one thing to take away from this research, it's this. The future of AI is not something to be feared. It's something to be shaped. The more informed we are, the more empowered we are to make choices that benefit all of humanity.
Powerful words to end on. And to our listeners, as you go about your day, consider this. What kind of future do you want to build with AI? Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.